Tiffany Arcari here for Gauvreau Accounting Tax Law Advisory $1 Million Year Program. I am lucky enough to sit down with our legal partner, Jeff Fitzgerald. Jeff, welcome, sir. Welcome to Coach's Corner.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I know you have a session coming up. You'll probably do a few coaching sessions for the $1 Million Year Program.
Right.
We've got an estate planning that works coming down in February. So I wanted to sit down with you today, get a little insight, get to know Jeff on a different level outside of the legal box.
Okay.
First question I ask everybody, why did you choose to coach or work for Gauvreau?
Yeah, great question. I would say two primary reasons. First is the people. So I knew of a handful of people who had already worked at the office. So the chance to work with them was something that was very exciting. Since I've joined the office, met dozens and dozens of other individuals who work here, and they've exceeded my expectations. So a great group of professional, kind, intelligent people to work with. So it's the people was a big part of it.
Good culture. People was a big driving force for me too. They really set that tone. There's a good sense of teamwork here.
Absolutely, yeah. Second main reason that chose to work here was because of innovation. So when Bob and I first started chatting about bringing legal services over to Gauvreau, something that really struck me was how innovative the office was. So always looking at new ways of doing things, new programs, new processes, and not at all afraid to make a change if it's necessary. Coming from a legal background, the legal field has typically been a bit conservative in its thinking. So the opportunity to come on board and try to build a very innovative law practice was something that was very appealing and very exciting for me.
I would think so too, because it really is outside of the box.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. The structure that we operate under is a multidisciplinary practice, which is something that is fairly new, that the Law Society has authorized. So we're kind of on the edge of that, and it's been a great experience.
I love that. And I feel you in that excitement, and especially with accounting, like typically accounting firms would get held up sort of on the other legal side of things, right? And was that the whole driving force into bringing this partnership?
It really was. Yeah. So we in chatting with accountants and other lawyers, the files are becoming increasingly complex, and as they do so, there's a greater need for that collaboration between lawyers and accountants. And if you're waiting 2 weeks to get a response from one side or the other, you end up responding to problems as opposed to getting out in front of them and being creative and trying to address those problems before they happen, which is something that we do here, I think, very well. And, working very closely with the other teams, whether it's the tax team, the accounting team, the bookkeeping team, to try to have that collaborative approach and proactive approach to addressing the issues that our clients face.
I love that, because fundamentally it's like all of these foundations are built for business owners, right? And under kind of that Gauvreau umbrella, there's all these touch points that just make you a driving force.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It kind of segues right into my next question, which is, how does Jeff Fitzgerald specifically help entrepreneurs?
Right. Yeah. So, I guess in a general sense, the services that we offer fall into kind of three main buckets. So the first is business or corporate services. So if you're buying a business, if you're an existing entrepreneur and you're selling your business, we can help you. If you're just starting a business and you need help in terms of how should we set this up correctly from the outset, then we can help you. We do a fair amount of work around reorganizing businesses. So that's that collaborative approach that we're working most often with the tax team. Often business owners, they set up their business from the start, and the way it's set up meets those needs at the beginning, but as they grow and build, their needs change. And what we like to do is take a look at where they are and where they might be going, with the idea of, can we put in place a plan that is going to allow them to take advantage of, all the tax planning that they can, any kind of business coaching, anything like that, to try to help them succeed.
It really is interesting to see we're dedicated to that growth and sort of that scaling of the businesses. And whether you start out micro or you're a big corporation, there's a place for you and support for you here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, I've only been a part of the group for just over a year now, but, that kind of mimics what's happened here at Gauvreau. It's, been a rapid period of growth. There's been acquisitions of other businesses. There's been so much going on that I really feel that we're well placed, and we've got even that internal experience to be able to help business owners go through those same changes that they might be facing.
Agreed. Now, we kind of talked about Jeff growing up. We asked, did you always know you wanted to be a lawyer? Which you answered, yeah, you kind of always had that inside of you. Why? What drives you to help entrepreneurs? Why were you like, yeah, you know what? Business is who I want to be helping with my skills.
Yeah, and I think that really starts from my love for my local community, to be honest with you. And it's something that you and I have chatted about. We chatted about it at the Christmas party. But, my mom is a local entrepreneur. I've been working in downtown for about 10 years now. So as you're downtown, you see all these great shops, all these great restaurants. And, from time to time, unfortunately, some of them close. And you can't help but think, what if they had a bit better of tax advice? What if they had some better legal advice? Would that have made a difference? I like to think so. And even just the opportunity to be maybe some small part of that is something that really drives me and really motivates me.
That is an answer that sparks something in me. We're definitely aligned, I think, on that. And that's a great answer for doing what you do and for your heart to be in the right place to motivate you to get the work done.
Yeah. And I think that, here at Gauvreau, I've had the opportunity also to in a geographic sense, really broaden the clients that I've been able to work with. And, I said I was very locally focused, and I'm still very much am, but you come to realize that these entrepreneurs are doing the same thing in, every community across Canada, whether they're, in their downtown core or otherwise. They're making huge contributions to the city, to the province, and the country as a whole. So again, to be a part of that is something I take a lot of pride in.
So true. And no matter where you are, local businesses, right? Look at Bob, kind of look at all of us and the way we've gone. Look at all of you MDY members shouting out. So Jeff, if you could give a tip, a hack, a piece of advice, one thing you think all entrepreneurs should know, what would that be? I should be bringing mine up, and then we'll just take. Right. Let me hold. There we go.
So in my kind of day-to-day practice, I give very specific tips to clients based on a specific issue, but I'll go a bit more general for this. And it's something that my grandfather used to always say to me, which was I'm tugging on your heartstrings here, but pay attention was something they always said. And I think the first time I heard it was I was, maybe 10 or 12 years old and tripped over a curb, and, pay attention to where you're going. But I think it applies to, business owners. And it's something that I try to incorporate into my day-to-day life, both on the business and the personal side. And, if you're a business owner, and you believe in what you're doing, then pay attention to that. And if it's worth doing right, because it is those little things that can trip you up from time to time. Not keeping your books correctly, or not paying attention to staff, or something like that. And like we said, the work that business owners do is so important to our communities that you'd hate to see something minor trip them up. But it's also something that I incorporate into try to incorporate into my personal life as well. Many business owners have no issue, paying attention to their business and plugging in, but trying to apply that to your personal life as well. Got 2 young kids at home. It's been a transition period for that. And, when I'm home, trying to pay attention to them. So whether it's, with family, with friends, by yourself, whatever that is, trying to pay attention to that, because, that balance can be very difficult to strike, but it's important for, the long-term, health of any person and any business.
Excellent answer. Get those blinders off, pay attention, check in, get engaged, put your phone down. I love that. Pay attention. So if a celebrity were to endorse you, who would that celebrity be? Why do you think they might endorse you?
Well, you're probably the most famous person I know, certainly a local celebrity, and I'd hope that you'd say some positive things about me. But at the risk of being political, Barack Obama is someone who I've always had a lot of admiration and respect for, and not for the politics of it, but his demeanor and his composure, something that I've always looked up to, and it's something that I do try to build into my practice as well. Like I said, we're dealing with issues, and if you respond with aggression or concern, then your clients can pick up on that. Other parties involved can pick up on that, and it becomes that much more difficult to arrive at a solution that works for everybody. So
I never really thought to put myself in your lens, that if I was a lawyer, I would probably sway toward these certain communicators. Really, really interesting. We're going to end the interview with a quote. Jeff, what makes you wake up in the morning? What do you say in the mirror that spices you up before you got to go into that big client meeting? How are you pumping yourself up? What's an affirmation, a quote you want to leave us all with today?
I've always loved the quote, "You reap what you sow." My wife is a big gardener, and she's introduced me to the joys of seeing a plant or a tree grow. But again, also applies to business in the sense that we've talked about innovation, we've talked about all of that, but I think there's no substitute for hard work.
I love that. You get what you give, you reap what you sow. Jeff Fitzgerald, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. If you have a question for Jeff, if you want to reach out to have a conversation, get his advice, how can we reach out to you, my friend?
Email or phone. My email is jfitzgerald@Gauvreau CPA, the same as anybody else. Or if you just call the main line and ask for Jeff, then I'd be happy to chat with you if I'm available.
We'll get you connected. Thank you for joining us for Coach's Corner. Go out there and crush those goals, friends.